Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new show. This is the Eurovision Roundtable podcast. I am your host, Elliot Harris, and this is just a safe haven for Euro fans to discuss everything that's going on in the world of Eurovision and imagine the Roundtable of old Knights times, but with more flags and sparkles, and you're pretty much there. Like I said, I am your host, Elliot Harris, and I have two guests with me today. Firstly, all the way up in snowy Glasgow, she is probably flipping freezing, as Alda Maria would say. It's Ellie from ESC Insight.
Hi!
How are you?
I'm surprisingly warm. The lovely Ida Maria has supplied us with some very good advice about wearing wool next to the skin, so I'm toasty warm.
Yeah, she's actually been the perfect sort of like weather lady in the last 3 days, which has been fantastic.
I feel like she is Eurovision fandom's cool best friend's mum.
Or the cool aunt who's always drinking wine in the corner.
Well, I don't know that she's a wine aunt, but she's definitely cool.
Ida, if you hear this, let us know. And also with us is Lucy from Leicester. How are you, Lucy?
Hey, I'm good. You?
I'm well. How's the snow watch there?
It's rubbish, but because we're not in the east, we're fine. Like, Midlands, we don't get any dramatic stuff going on, so we're good.
Well, I'm based down south, just south of London, and we normally miss it all, but this time it's not. But, fun fact, we're technically recording this on the first day of spring, technically, so where's my sunflowers at?
Where is it?
Pretty much.
I need sun.
Well, we'll hope there's lots of sun in Lisbon in 6 weeks' time. That's the aim, that's the dream. But, yes, moving swiftly on, we have quite a few things to discuss today. And like I said, this is just going to be anything going on in the Eurovision world or what we think of. And the first thing I want to talk about is something that's become a bit of a popular trend in the last 2 to 3 years, and that is songwriting camps. And I came up with this idea after 3 national selections have very publicly had songwriting camps influence their selections this year, and that is Switzerland, the United Kingdom, and Germany. Fun fact, they've all had 6 songs in their selection as well, but especially on social media, it's received the same sort of critique along the 3 selections, which was they're all fine, but all 6 sound relatively similar. And it got me thinking, and I find that's quite interesting. However, one of the songs in the songwriting camp which wasn't influenced by anyone in a songwriting camp was the Swiss entry, which is Zibs, and they'll be singing the song Stones. And let's just hear a little bit of that now.
Different pattern, but the same attack. No, I ain't throwing stones. No, I ain't throwing stones. Every lesson lost in the past. Pardon me, but I don't wanna go back. No, I ain't throwing stones. Oh, because I know I ain't standing alone.
So, Ellie, songwriting camps, what do you think of them? Are they good? Is it just quantity over quality, or because not many songs stand out in a songwriting camp, people say, so what do you think?
I can see where the temptation comes from if you have a songwriting camp to stack your national final with the songs that result. Because, you've paid for this thing to go on, you've had these songs specially written to your brief, which is why they all sound similar. They're all written towards basically the same brief from the broadcaster. And it's really tempting to go, well, we had 6 songs come out of this. We've got 6 slots in the national final. Nothing that came in through the open selection process was any good at all. Let's just go for it. So I can see where the temptation comes from. But the downfall is that thing of a songwriting camp. It's only to one brief, and they sort of know what they're aiming at. And that doesn't really give you much room for sort of spontaneity and authenticity. It gives you songs written to order. And that doesn't really win Eurovision anymore.
I agree. I will make a point, just going back on Zibs, is that a funny thing is that the top 2 in that selection actually were Zibs and Alejandro Reyes, and they were the only 2 with their own songs in that selection. Zibs had Laurel Barker as a credited songwriter, and I think Alejandro had a few people, but I think it showed that they were the only people that had their name on their song, and that's what made them stand out and be the top 2 in Switzerland. Same for Germany, actually. The top 2 or 3 all co-wrote their own song, so again, it stood out. But yeah, I'll go into more brief that a bit later on. But Lucy, how do you sit on the whole songwriting camp? Is it just a bit of a fad, or there's actually some good come out of it? Because the UK have used it the last 2 years at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at the UK as an example, like, we could have only got good things out of it after Electric Velvet. Let's call a fact a fact. Like, we needed all the help we could get after that. I think it's a really good thing sometimes, but I think it comes out with these really generic songs. I think Greta Salome did a live chat with Riot on Facebook, and she said something quite interesting. She said that when they were at the writing camp in Copenhagen, they were split into 3 different sections for genres. Like, it is that manufactured. Like, Greta was there with with the other writer of Crazy, and they were told, you're writing upbeat songs. So literally, it's so specific. Like, I don't know, it was kind of almost depressing to hear it in a way. But I think, to be honest with you, if you've got seasoned songwriters who write pop songs regularly, I think it can be a very good thing, but you are going to get something generic out of it. There's no hiding that fact. Like, more, like the public in general, I think could come up with something a little bit more creative. I do think, I don't think in You Decide any of the songs were publicly submitted. I think someone told me all 6 came to the songwriting camp. I'm not sure how true that is, but you can kind of tell.
I think one of them might have been a demo from a songwriter who was approached to see if they had something.
Oh, okay.
But certainly Storm was from a songwriting camp at Tileyard Studio.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Suri herself has admitted
Suri
that.
submitted a song, didn't she? She was on the songwriting camp, Suri wrote a different song, and then they gave her somebody else's song to sing, which is a shame because she is one hell of a songwriter. If you hear her music, her other songs. And I think, whilst Storm isn't bad, I think she deserves potentially a little bit better than that. But I think there was definitely positives with the UK, but countries like Germany, you look at the effort they're putting in. You can tell, like, it doesn't surprise me the top 2 or 3 in Germany's selection were not from a songwriting camp because they're a bit different. Like, I think Germany puts so much more effort into it than BBC. It pains me to say that as a British Eurofan, but they do.
But both the UK and Germany have sort of vibrant national pop scenes that are totally detached from the Eurovision process.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Both the UK and Germany are having to persuade people to get involved.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the UK, we've got musical history, we do, and I really do think that more people could be involved, like, more high profile. I'm not going to go all crazy and say, we should send Adele, because that is number 1 pet peeve. But, like, these songwriting camps, I think they've got some good names going into them, but it is going to turn out something very manufactured. There's no getting away from it. You're not going to get an Amal Pellestoich from that, are you? Like, yeah.
One of my dream songwriters for the UK, not necessarily a performer, but as a songwriter, it would be nice to get a Charlie XCX song.
Oh, God, yes.
Because of the way that the BBC themselves promote Eurovision as a little bit of a joke, Charlie XCX isn't going to take the career risk of having her songs associated with it.
No, I mean, and funny enough with Germany, wasn't it? Ella Eyre wrote Black Smoke or something? Ella Eyre was definitely one of the writers of that song. Mm-hmm. And she didn't know that was going into Eurovision. Like, she wasn't told until it was already selected, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, songwriting camps, I have one main gripe with them, and this is coming from a UK standpoint, is that the winner, 9 times out of 10, gets revamped. They all sound like demo tracks. I felt that last year, and I felt that this year. All 12 songs from this year and last, I all felt needed something else. Like, regardless of what won, it needed a revamp. I can confirm that last year I was told all 6 weren't publicly submitted. They all came from the songwriting camp. The OGAE pick didn't get past the final 12. I'm not sure about this year, however. But yeah, it's a shame because the UK are trying in a sense of having that songwriting camp, and it's doing well because, you know, we're getting good singers and performers out of it, if nothing else. You know, Lucy Jones, phenomenal singer. Suri, phenomenal singer and a fantastic character, especially on social media. She's playing the social media game so well right now. I love her so much. She's fabulous. But yeah, but then again, going back to Germany, we have the other side where we have an amazing singer with a pretty drab song, and I'm going to use Ivy Quainu as this. She has an amazing back catalogue of songs since she won The Voice of Germany, and House and Fire just felt just like anyone could sing.
Oh my mind, it's you, and we got on like a house on fire, like a house on fire, burning bright.
Like, I like the song now, but in the national selection I was like, this is just your most generic love mid-tempo ballad that anyone could sing, and you're giving it to this established artist who can't really do much with it. And I just felt like it was a wasted talent because she is someone I've wanted in Eurovision for years now. I got so excited when she was announced as one of the 6, but it's just bizarre because also Germany or Switzerland or maybe both, they said we're going to find songs that are tailored to the artists, and I don't really feel like that happened much, apart from 1,000 Times in Switzerland, and nothing from Germany from the other 3 really, because we had On My Own Way, which was a nice song but screamed of Perfect Life 2.0, and then I can't even remember what the other song was apart from Ivy. Oh yeah, then there was Vox Club, who was great, but again, that was their own style. But I just feel like, especially with the BBC, they always try and get like a popular fandom name in their selection. Like last year was Emily de Forest, and this year it was Greta Salome. Like, they're always trying to find someone to get people hyped up about. And yeah, I understand what they're doing, but it just feels like, yeah, let's just get as many songs as we can done in these 3 days, and then we'll come back and see which 6 we can pick. And I would rather artists be picked and then people work with them individually and find out what works for them specifically, rather than, this is our song, you're singing it like this, and if you win, we'll tailor-make it to you, so to speak.
I have a pro-revamp point. So if, like the UK, you select relatively early on in the Eurovision season, and you don't know whether it's going to be a ballad-heavy year or a year that's heavy on sort of like mid-tempo inspirational songs, if you hold yourself back until, 75% of the songs are submitted to do the revamp, which is what the UK have done, then you can, head for the niche which is underexploited.
That is very, very true, actually. And, when we were selecting so early and I heard the 6 songs last year, I did immediately think, like, was this a ploy to have a revamp? And obviously, 3 days later, Lucy said, we are going to tweak the song because we heard what they said on social media. So, I'm not going to bash you, BBC. They've actually done a very good job this year, holding the press day the week beforehand and all this. Like, Helen Riddell's done an amazing job, and Suri is an amazing ambassador. And I'm praying that, an even better song comes out of Storm, because I still love the original. But obviously, time will tell.
I reckon they can really clean bandit it up.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Well, I don't know if you've seen today, but her social media photos, like all the official artworks going out, and she's got a jacket which is black and white, and it's got fringing down the side. I was like, that's really...
It looks so modern. You can tell, like I was saying, I think it is really clean bandity. I hadn't even thought of that until now. Like, I've been trying to think, what can they do with Storm to make it really, really good, and that is it bang on. Because I think with Lucy Jones, they tried to make it a bit London grammar, I think, with their revamp on that. And I was just thinking, if they do the same thing again, which they've said they are using the same team to do the staging as Lucy, the same team to revamp it, which is great news in my book.
And she's been with Blanche in the last week or so she has been with Blanche. Yeah, so could she be going down the slightly electronic violin route as well? Like
yeah,
Blanche
I think
did.
The revamp's going to be massive. I think they're going to do something really big with it, especially with, like you say, the photo shoot that came out today with the fringe. I was like, that is a lot more modern than Storm is currently. And what you were saying before about this press day that Helen Riddell did last week, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh my god, something's changing. Because I know it's so silly to get excited about the fact they held a press day, but that is a huge step for BBC, because they've never done that, not in a very long time anyway that I can think of. I think this revamp is going to be epic. Like,
the BBC have been very slowly turning quite a large ship around as far as Eurovision goes. I'd forgotten this happened actually, but back in 2007 we had a final that was a You Decide that was, well, it was called Making Your Mind Up back then.
Whatever name they slap on it.
Yeah, just whatever. It was all chart acts, like from the time, like an Atomic Kitten, Big
the
Brothers.
Darkness were in it, weren't they?
It was just Justin Hawkins, but that Hawkins and Brown song, like you wouldn't be embarrassed if that was the UK song.
But we sent Scooch.
Yeah, we went with Scooch, and the song that Wogan tried to force the win for, the Cindy one, that was just two Scottish folk songs sort of multiplied together. So, you know, we did used to somehow be able to get the chart acts in to do a national final, but I just don't think that in the current sort of opinion landscape you would get chart acts in to do a national final. It would have to be an internal selection.
Besides, I think it's kind of more exciting to get new artists. I mean, I was at You Decide, and Raya, which to me was the one that really stood out, like, as somebody said there, because she just looked and sounded so current. And I think Molly Smith Downs is the perfect example of how exciting it can be to get someone new in. But I agree with what you were saying earlier on about getting these established names to write the songs. I mean, oh God, there's this unholy rumour going around about Ed Sheeran writing a song sometime.
That's nothing. So
that's
basically, somebody just ambushed him with the question, and he said he would write a song for England.
Yeah,
which
shows how clueless he is. Just shows how clueless. I mean, I would, as a final point, would like one or two things to happen. A, we have a 2009 scenario where we find a singer and put them with an established songwriter, and then they go with that, because that worked wonders for Jade. Or we have like a songwriting camp or something, but again, it's established writers who write these songs and then work with this artist for 3 or 4 weeks until the songs are released to the public, because the artists are decided in early December or near Christmas time, but we don't hear them until late January, so that's a month they have to work on it if they really wanted to. But yeah, I think if you're going to have a songwriting camp, don't forget about the quality. I know it's great to have a big batch of songs to pick from, but just remember that the winner is going to be subject to social media now, and obviously then...
Which we know Sturry's a queen of.
And obviously, you know, if your song isn't well received, you're then going to be panicking, thinking, are we going to get a bad result, or do we need to cut and change a lot of it, which could go one of two ways. You know, we could have like a Lucy Jones or a Juliana Pasha moment where it becomes something extraordinary, or we could have an Aneda Tarifa moment where it just sinks slowly into nothing. But I'm still mad about that.
My favourite solution for artist selection would be for the BBC to bring back Fame Academy, which is
oh my God,
which is that would we would then end up with a sort of a combination of Depi Evratsil, a songwriting camp, and our artist would be going into it with a reality TV following, like the Spanish artists are this year, because Operation Triunfo is just Fame Academy.
Songwriting camps, they have their place. I mean, Zibs, I don't know if they are revamping it. They've just shot their music video, so there could be a revamp hidden within that. Suri, we pretty much know is getting a revamp. But yeah, we'll wait and see. I just know that before the songwriting camp was even announced, Switzerland said their aim was to make the final. Like, that was the minimum, and at this moment, I'm not sure if Stones will do it, but we shall wait and see. It's becoming a tough semi-final one, I feel. But anyway.
It is.
Anyway, moving swiftly along to our second point, and this is a fun one which I thought of, which is a returning artist. Does that cause a blurred opinion from the fans? And my inspiration from this came from none other than the lovely Tamar Caprillion, who, if you have not heard of before, was part of Genealogy back in 2015, and the song Face the Shadow, or later changed to Face the Shadow. She entered the Armenian selection this year as a soloist with her song Poison, bracket, Ali Ali, close bracket. And before we even heard the song, even when she was just announced, people just fell in love with the fact that Tamar was returning. People saying, oh, she's going to win, she's going to walk it, this. Cut to Tuesday night, the first semi-final. She is not called out as one of the 5 qualifiers. Cue meltdown on social media. Now, us 3, we've been on social media for years in the Eurovision bubble. We've seen this happen time and time again, and we will see it time and time again. But a lot of people, I felt, or just like people in general, I feel like they weren't acknowledging the fact that her vocal and that performance was very disappointing. And I feel that when you have an artist who's done Eurovision before, or your selection before, like Greta Zaza, for example, when she came back with Broken Shadows this year and didn't do well at all in her selection, you just kind of Lena Phillips syndrome it, where you just sort of like chuck out what they're sending this year. You remember what they did, and you think just because they did that, it'll be amazing. And yeah, I just feel like it's not a problem, but I do worry that other artists just don't get a look in because they're being overshadowed by someone who's done it before. But their song might not be as good as this year has proven. Names aren't doing as well as people just expect them to, but that could just be me. But Lucy, let's come to you on that. Do you feel like just a returning artist equals a good result or a good song?
Straight away, I'm going to say Dana International Eurovision 2011. No, it does not necessarily equal a good result. I know in national finals it's different. I think another example from this year is Stig Rasta. I mean, Goodbye to Yesterday is one of my favourite ever. I would say it's my modern favourite Eurovision song. Home, though, yes, it got to the final of East Lol. We'll see how that goes. But it's just nowhere near as good. And it kind of seems like everybody is talking about... I mean, they talk about La Forza, because La Forza is La Forza. Like, it is someone else. It's not my cup of tea, but you can understand why it's so good. But the other one that everybody is talking about is Stig Rasta. And it's like, why? Like, this is Molly Sterling, just copy and pasted almost. Even with the "Give a Little Love to Me" line, or whatever what's the line in Home? I can't remember what it is. But
something like that.
I think it is.
Something like this line.
I do think it is if you give a little love to me. Oh God, what is it?
What is it? Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
give a little love to me, show a little sympathy. I will build us a home. That's the start of the chorus. There we go.
There we go.
But it is very similar to.
Though, it doesn't matter because we won't be needing to learn the words for me.
Exactly. I mean, also, Elena Bourne is another really good example, actually, stemming from the exact same tree. Didn't she come dead last in the final of East Long last year?
She did, last the jury and the televote. And I loved her song last year. I found it fabulous.
I loved it. It was great. It was so good. I think it deserved to win. It was my favourite last year. Came dead last. So I don't think returning artists always means success. And I hope so bad, going back to Scandinavia from earlier on, I hope so bad Alexander Rybak does not win in Norway. I really do.
I'm going to be at MGP, and I don't know what I'm going to do if Rybak wins.
Cry? That's what I do.
Cry ugly tears. No.
Yeah.
Oh. If either wins, a whole other matter. But I don't think it necessarily means. I think if anything, you're kind of putting a target on your back because you've got so much expectation, and then inevitably it's not as good, unless you're Johnny Logan or whatever. It's never as good as the second time. And I just think
the thing is though, with artists that return to national finals, especially ones who've had a good result, you have to then find a way to balance out the public goodwill in the televote with a jury who also don't care that Stig Rasta is Stig Rasta or that Reebok is Reebok. You have to sort out your judging criteria to try and normalise out the returning artist or the fact that somebody's a huge local star. And Norway is really interesting because they've got 3 different returning artists. Well, sort of 4 if you consider Morland as the writer of Rebecca's song. They've got the returning winner who's coming back with a much inferior novelty song. They've got Stella Mwangi, who was robbed. So that's somebody who can come back and get a much better result. And then they've got last year's artist, Alexander Wallman, returning, who he's still sort of riding the crest of the wave, and everybody still remembers him from last year and would feel inclined to vote for him. Or they've got Morland, who can bring the sort of the class from a monster like me back. So they've got, nearly 50% of their selection is different flavors of returning artist.
Yes, and also with Morland as well. Didn't he win the what are those awards called? They give at Eurovision afterwards. There's like a press award as well. He won the award for the best written song. The one award by the songwriters.
The Best Song Awards. Yeah.
Yes. He won the one award by songwriters. A Monster Like Me was considered the best song, and let's face it, it was one of the best written songs in 2015 by quite a long way. It was a stunning song, and I don't think Rebecca's song is as good, but it's still, it is one of the better ones in the national selection. It's pretty striking. Yeah, it's definitely one of the better ones in the selection, because I think, like you say, a lot of it is kind of not joke songs. They're not joke. I mean, some of them they're just silly songs.
There are 3 novelty songs in Norway. There's That's How You Write a Song, which isn't how you write a song, actually. They've got Morendin, which is a 3-minute your mum joke, and they've got Scandilove, which is just joy and
Scandilove is the best
discussion of the weather.
We need Scandilove at times like this. We really do.
It is a bizarre one. You brought up some very good points there. I mean, I'll get back onto Alexander Rybak in just a moment, but I have seen it works in the other direction when an artist returns back, because Ukraine, for example, we had the top 2 from second and third from last year return, which was Milovin and Teyana. Everyone I saw fanned over Teyana, and I'm going to say this now, I don't think Teyana can sing well at all. I hated I Love You last year, I hated her song this year, and I knew she wasn't going to win because she has not got the public support like last year, but the jury loved her again, and that showed in the results. Milovin, though, a lot of people, especially today, are saying, oh, I really love Under the Ladder now. And
people are coming round to it. Woo! Great song.
Yeah, it just took a few days. But
the thing is, though, I remember when this song first got released, I remember messaging Ellie saying, oh, there's a song from Ukraine I really love. I remember sending it to you. And we did kind of raise our eyebrows at one lyric. But apart from that, I was like, this has to win. This is an amazing song.
It turns out that wasn't the lyric. His pronunciation is just really unfortunate.
I read through this line as well. I'm going to have to look at it later and try to figure out which one you're talking about.
It doesn't matter because his pronunciation has shifted and it doesn't sound like that when he performs it now.
Oh, damn.
That's the thing, everyone's giving Teyana all the attention, and when she didn't win, everyone said, Ukraine, you've made a terrible mistake. And I was thinking, this is a 20-year-old kid who's won the X Factor in Ukraine, has walked the televote both years, and he does not look phased at all in his artistry or as a performer or being on camera. He is going to sell that song, and it's extremely catchy and not fun, but it's anthemic to a point. Exactly.
I was just about to say, that curve, that hook, I'm going to use that word, that there is going to have people remembering it, especially if it's late in the running order. And if it gets the final, I'm sure it will. It's Ukraine, and it's brilliant. But I think if it's late in the running order, that could do really well for Ukraine. I think it might get gone if it's very early. Well, we wrote about half the songs. The rest might be balanced.
Ukraine
we don't know.
always puts something on stage to make whatever they send a talking point.
Hashtag hamster wheel.
Exactly.
Only Milovin's hamster wheel will be on fire.
Yes.
Yes.
I did love.
Oh no!
I did love when the structure went on fire.
Again.
No, just the structure underneath went on fire, and that was pretty incredible. I did my jaw did slightly drop when I saw that. But the other flip side is that when Marcus Reeva announced he was coming back, everyone sort of went, "Oh, go home and stop." I'm like, no, leave Marcus alone. He's a good singer. Let him try. There's no rule saying he can't try again. And if we're gonna really get upset about people returning in selections,
Romania.
I was going to say Malta, but sure. Because
Malta would have to just scrap it and start again.
Yeah, Malta is just a nearly nation. It's like, whose turn is it this year? Christabel. I love Christabel, but it's just like...
Seriously, it's so bad. I remember somebody tweeted, it might have been yourself, I can't remember, I can't remember who did it. But someone put on Twitter, I just feel like Malta almost rewards the person that's been back the most time. That's all they want to do. How many times has Christabel done it? It's
4.
like you're saying, oh, it's your turn now. It seems like the more times they do it, they go, oh, she tries so hard, let's give it to her.
And that is where Slovenia, I'm really proud of them this year. Because, so BQ were robbed last year, and Heart of Gold was pretty good. It was at least better than Omar's song. Yeah. And it would have been nice to have them there instead of Omar. But this year, the people of Slovenia didn't go, well, they were robbed last year and we should send them this year with a far inferior song. They were like, well, let's put that aside and let's just send the best song that we actually have now.
Yeah, I mean, Leah Serk is so different as well. That is a brave song to choose.
But again,
I can't decide whether I like it or not, but it's a good one to choose.
Again,
and Slovenia are not in any danger of winning, but they've gone about it the right way.
Yeah.
But again, we look at that, but again, Be Cool won the televote this year. Not as convincing as last year, but they still won the televote, and the jury's what marked them down. But again, ever since they've had this 50-50 split, the televoter winner has never gone to Eurovision. I don't think the juries are purposely stacking against the public's favourite, because Leah Serk is still a good song and it's still a good singer. I'm not sure if I like it or not this at the moment. It's very in the middle for me. It's one of those songs. But it's a song that I'm in the right mood, I feel. It's one of those songs.
I think that shows that Slovenia have managed to come up with a jury televote mix that allows them to actually pick the thing that's got the best chance for Eurovision, regardless of who the public feels sympathetic towards.
Very true. I'm trying to think, was the Slovenian jury Slovenian or international at Emma? I didn't watch it because I was working.
It was a busy night.
It was a very busy night. 5 selections going on. But yeah, that's the thing. It's very easy to pick a song based on name, and an example of that again is Anya Nielsen, because Where I Am was just, I'm going to get killed for this, a whiny, shouty ballad which I felt she couldn't sing. Whereas Never Alone was an amazing, anthemic, really inspiring pop song. But I just felt like they have stacked this, so Anya Nielsen is going to walk in. Especially when they've said, oh yeah, this year we're going to have super fans on the jury. It's like, well, it's completely geared for Anya Nielsen then, because everyone's going to recognise Anya Nielsen's name, who's part of this bubble. So, and... to us, they said they were disappointed with the result and expected top 10, and I was not shocked at all by their result. I was actually very happy when the televote came through and Lucy beat Anya, because that was the one person I wanted Lucy Jones to beat, was Denmark. And I'm glad she did.
I think Anya Nielsen, I think that is the one song, other than the obvious Omar Nabar, I'm not going to say his name properly, but you know what I mean. Omar is, other than him, I think Denmark was the one song I can't, still to this day, bear to listen to the whole way through, because I find it so boring. So I totally get where you're coming from in that. And it was so the wrong choice last year for Denmark. It really was.
See, I just wanted Sada Fadu the doll with her voice of gold. That's all I wanted. And she was dressed like a disco ball on stage. It was fabulous.
Yes.
I loved her dress so much. But to close this out, even though we have kind of said how dangerous it is just to latch onto a returning artist, is there anyone from Eurovision or national finals you would like to see try again in 2019?
Asanda, no question. Actually, maybe Asanda needs a few more years. She's learned some breathing techniques and singing and that, but I want her back at some point. Yeah, that's my instant shout. I mean, sorry, that's just going for my own country. But yeah.
There were no rules on what country you could pick in this. It's absolutely fine.
I would have Navi Band back every year that it's possible.
God, yeah.
Or throwing it back a little, Amandine Bourgeois again for France.
Wow.
Oh, she's my favourite from 2013. Oh, I love her, but I don't think she'd come back because she got so, like, dangerously robbed in Eurovision. Why would she come back? It makes me so sad, though.
Revenge is a powerful motivator. I mean, that's why Waylon is back this year.
That's partly why Melovan came back, because he said he wants to come back because he felt unjustified because he won the televote last year, and so he came back because he felt he had unfinished business. So that's why he came back. And I think that's a fabulous reason to come back. And well done to him.
Yes, definitely.
For me personally...
It gives...
Oh, no, go on, Laura.
It gives the whole contest a sort of a multi-year sort of soap melodrama sense. It makes the stakes seem higher.
Yes.
And for me personally, I would probably say... Oh, this is difficult. Actually, oh, there we go. I remembered. Probably Ellie V for Armenia or Austria, because I did like her song back in 2016, and she was only 17. She's had a few years now. I would happily have her back. Or oh god, who was it? Someone in Hungary, not this year, but last year. Who was it? Henderson David, that was it. I really liked his song Broken Shadows last year, and I would like him to try again.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, they're my two that are coming to my head. I mean, if we went through Sweden, I would be here all night going back 5 or 6 years, but we won't go there. We won't go there.
I would just say Ace Wilder every year, even though they've gotten worse as they've gone along. I still love her anyway.
That's good. Okay. So, moving on, and this is a fun question which I was inspired by on Sunday night, and it's just a pure question of how many songs are too many in a national final? And I think we can all guess where this was inspired from. Romania having a national final with 60 songs. No, not just 60 to start with, then they're going to cut them down. 60 live songs over 5 weeks, 15 a heat, 15 in the final, or no, 12 in a heat, 12 in a heat, sorry, 15 in the final. Oh, that was just a very long 6 weeks of a process, I felt. I don't feel like while you need 60 songs competing in a selection, or in a live selection at least, it just, because you're going to get some real drab, and they're all just going to meld into one, which is what they did in the end. So I gave up on Romania and waited until they had a winner, and then I heard what the winner was, which on Wikipedia someone has reformed from The Humans into Human Torch. I don't know why, but the band is now Human Torch according to Wikipedia. God bless you, whoever did that.
Okay. So it depends. So we have to get into nerdy details of TV commissioning. And if it turns out that getting regional tourist boards to contribute towards your national final heat expenses in order to fill up 3 hours of TV every Sunday evening for a month after Christmas when nobody can really be bothered to make any TV, then 60 songs it is. And we're going to sit through 60, and poor Ilinka is going to sit through 60, and you're going to like it. I quite liked Romania's selection, and if they do the extremely long list for live shows again, I'm going to put a song in and have a weird weekend in Romania competing in a national final. I don't expect to get to the final, although given this year's standard, maybe.
You would need Google Translate again, we know that much, unless you are fluent in Romanian and we never knew.
I can learn.
You have a year.
I did Ukrainian in a year, I can do Romanian.
Wow.
Impressive. With Romania, like, I think I had very much the same reaction as you. Like, I couldn't be bothered with it. Like, I listened to all of the national finals. Being honest, most of them, I just went YouTube and typed in, I'm trying to think of an example. When I first heard Easty Law, I was like, I can't bother to listen to all 20 in full, so I'll put on somebody's top 20. I will hear snippets, and the ones I like from that I will listen to in full. Romania, I couldn't even bother to do that. When I heard there was 60, I was like, no, I'll just wait till the final, then I'll watch like a top 15 of the final kind of thing. And in the end, I just didn't interact with the idea of Romania's national final tour, because I was like, that is so much effort. Like, I know that sounds really rubbish, but I couldn't be bothered. Like,
This is the thing, though. National finals are optional.
yes, they are. But
They
I
are.
kind of felt like when you're...
Unless you're a linker and they're physically driving you to the venue.
You sign a contract, you
I'm literally
cannot
getting
escape.
a paycheck. But no, I really do like listening to the snippets of all of them. But Hungary, I couldn't be bothered because once I heard the first few, I was like, yeah, bye. And then Romania, I was like, it's just too many. Which weirdly, because you know when Latvia first started, there's the 63 songs, and you could listen and vote up or down, like good or bad. I was like, I listened to that and I did that, but I think that's just because of pure desperation, because it was the very beginning of Eurovision season.
It was September.
They were the first
we
songs.
needed
They were the first official songs, and we latched onto it.
Yeah.
I mean, the
But
same.
like Romania, we had so much choice. I just didn't bother.
I mean, it's the same with like Lithuania. No one ever really pays attention to the Lithuanian selection, and the selection is good because I did it last year and this year. But the fact it literally starts at the first weekend of January to the final weekend you can have any sort of national selection before they had a delegation meeting in the host country. People just cannot be bothered to sit through it, and especially when they hear the songs 4 or 5 times in that selection, they're just like, oh, I'll wait to the final, I'll see what gets through, I'll see what they're saying on Twitter. And I do feel a little bit bad for the artists because it obviously means a lot to them to do this, but it's just, it is difficult, especially unless you have like a very high standard of songs, and I don't think any country has had a 10 out of 10 seriously stellar high standard this year, looking at you, especially Sweden. I mean, their selection hasn't been bad, and their final still looks like it's going to be a very solid final for Sweden, but everyone knows that they have done better, i.e. 2016. It's just difficult to sit through. Or you could be on the flip side, plan a national final, and then hear nothing. It all goes a bit too part, and then you just end up with a song and a singer. Looking at you, Greece and Cyprus. I mean, that's the national finals that never were.
Oh my god, yeah.
You can only have a national final song with the songs that get submitted.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, we were spared a redo of the Greece Shopping Mall National Final 2012 again, so I'll take that. That's fine. That was a...
We got Latvia doing live auditions in a shopping mall, so that was fine. That was fine.
You know, that's live auditions, not the actual show to pick your song, though.
Montenegro's was in a hotel ballroom, I think.
It
was
like
it was
that.
down the Hilton in...
Oh my god.
They tried. Though. I appreciate the fact they tried. But yeah, it's just...
Yeah.
I think what's important when you have a lot of songs in a national selection is that A, which you're guaranteed to get is variety. B, they are mixed in very well to keep it sort of like fair in a sense, because we always think like there's one semi-final that's overly strong compared to the other one, and then we get sad because some of our favourites don't qualify when they'd walk the other semi-final. And also, just if you're going to have like 15 or 20 songs in a night, just get them done nice and quickly. Like, I'm trying to think which country sort of like does this. Like, it just goes from song to song to song.
France. I mean, it's not that many songs, but it took forever to get from one to the other.
Yeah.
because they had to talk about their philosophy between each song.
Armenia, that's a good example. They finished, they cut to a VT, next song. It was very Eurovision, the Armenian selection. If you're going to do it like that way, do it like that. And that's fine by me. But, I mean, we're going to sit through them regardless at the end of the day. Because we love it. We love it too much. And it is what it is. Oh, here's a bad one. Albania. I can never sit through FIK again after 2016. 4 hours. Oh, that was painful. I didn't sit through
Albania is optional because it's never the song that ends up at the contest.
True.
Like San Remo.
Same.
San Remo is optional as well.
Yeah.
But, you know, obviously they're all optional, but some of them are even more optional than the others.
I think with Albania,
do you think that you could ever go back to not hearing the songs beforehand?
No, never. Like, no way.
I don't think so.
I see people posting on Twitter and stuff like, I'm not going to listen to Eurovision songs till the night. I'm like, are you crazy? Like, this is the best time of the year. This is our Christmas. Like, enjoy it.
Yeah,
don't just say, oh, I've written songs to myself.
Literally, what do you do with your life during Q1 if you're not...
I know, exactly. Like, people are, like, always cutting off the nose to spite the face. Like, just enjoy it. I think I don't tend to watch. If I haven't watched the national final, I won't watch the national final performance on YouTube, because then it's always sometimes if they copy that same thing exactly Eurovision, it's quite boring almost. So I tend not to watch the national final performance on YouTube if I haven't watched the national final. I'm not going to make much sense, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's. Oh, I've gone off on a tangent now. I completely forgot what I'm saying. Sorry.
It's alright.
Yeah.
I get what you mean. I do the opposite. Like, I wait until the song's won, and then I will go back and hear the winner, and then...
Yeah.
But then I don't have any desire to listen to the other 6 or 7 that it beat, because then I might get upset that, something better didn't win. And what I don't know can't hurt me. So, that's my
with
logic.
Romania, yeah. Now, with Romania, I'm going to be controversial, because I think most people disagree with me, but I love that song. That has won Romania.
Trapped in a void, can see the light. Goodbye.
I think it's because I'm a 90s kid, so a bit kind of like late 90s, early noughties pop rock is good. Like, I really like it.
Yeah, I
haven't
feel
watched
good
National
for
Final.
Romania keeping the 100% record
I
and
like
left-hand
it.
side of the table.
I like it. I mean, I saw a lot of hate come with the song, and I was like, oh dear, here we go. Like, it's going to be awful, because I was dropping in and out of the voting, and all I saw was Walking on Water was kind of like ahead quite a fair bit. I was like, you know what, that's a decent song, it's fine. Then I saw like Humans one, I was like, oh, okay.
Right.
But I know it walked the jury vote in the semi-final, so it must be good then. But I saw a lot of hate when people saying like, oh, Romania's not making the final, at which point I laughed, because I swear like every national final song that's won this year, people have said, that's not making the final. There's been at least 10... There's been at least more than 9 national finals in the semi-final too, so at least one song from a national selection in the semi-final 2 is getting through.
Yeah.
But I heard it and I was like, this is actually decent. Like, she's a good
And
singer.
Welcome Sang.
It's a nice indie vibe to it. It did feel very 90s, and I was all for it. I don't get the hatred for it. It's nothing groundbreaking, but I won't like go on a toilet break when this comes on. Not that I actually ever.
It will need a full 44 seconds of gold pyro curtain.
I think
Because that's how long the
will.
last chorus lasts.
Oh, God.
But Romania
No,
Romania love a show though. They love something wacky and different, circular piano.
They'll do something good.
They don't
No,
really
I
have to put anything else on stage. They can do nothing and just have the band and some nice lights, because the singer is stunning and charismatic.
Yeah,
But they need to save up the money for the big gold pyro curtain.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I put on Twitter, I literally put a tweet like, why do people hate Goodbye? It's really good. And the first response, and I can understand the response, because Ozzy Combate was good. But the first response was because it wasn't Ozzy Combate or Walking on Water. That is why everybody hates it. I'm like, well, in time, that's going to fade. And people are going to end up... I don't like a few of the songs that have come out, but I will accept it and I will listen to it on my playlist. Of course I will. And I will forget about the ones that didn't make it, Well, I won't completely forget, but you know what I mean.
You get to cherish your national final flops. You shouldn't...
Yes.
You shouldn't be bitter about it. Anyway, Ozzy Combate is just Jessie J's Do It Like a Dude. I managed to really spoil that song for myself by figuring that out.
Oh my god, I need to listen to it after this.
I think-
I've not clicked that.
After Circle of Light in 2017, I've kind of taken the same approach where it's like, my favourite didn't win, I'm gutted I won't hear this in Eurovision, but it's on Spotify so I can hear it whenever I want. And I think that's the mindset we should take. Like, at the end of the day, we get a song that we love out of it. I mean, the fact that if it goes to Eurovision or not, it's not the end of the world. I mean, some of our favourites won't win a selection, some of our favourites won't qualify, that's just a given. Hear Them Calling still breaks my heart. But it's one of those things, and at the end of the day, it is a competition, and especially in our Twitter sort of like bubble, the three of us, because we're all British and we all have a lot of like British and mainland European followers, and vice versa, we don't really understand or follow Eastern European music like Russia, like your Romania. So we don't know what they listen to. This could... Goodbye could be what's totally topping every single Romanian chart right now. This could be totally Romania, but we don't know that unless, we go to Romania and listen to 6 hours of Romanian radio. But we're not going to do that.
Well, you can listen to Romanian radio online.
True.
One of the things that I did when I was falling in love with Estonia was listen to Estonian radio stations streaming online, and I got to hear some amazing stuff. Far outside the sort of pop mix that you would get on a UK radio station.
Yeah, when I was in Estonia last year in April, and we were on a coach. We got the coach from Estonia to Latvia. We're brave. But like the music was playing, it was very indie, and that didn't surprise me. When you listen to East Love a lot, like that, what they're always calling Misty, and the other one. There's two very indie songs in East
Sybil Vane.
Yeah. Sorry?
Sybil Vane.
That's the one. That's the exact one I was thinking of. I think it really does reflect in the national final. Like, it doesn't surprise you at all. It doesn't necessarily mean Verona won last year. Nothing like that in Estonian radio. It's a whole other separate entity what actually ends up winning. You can get a general vibe from a national final. Sweden, right? I was in Sweden not that long ago, still playing Robin Bengtsson on the radio. They are very much pop. The festival is very pop. Estonia listen to indie, it's generally indie all over. So you can kind of get, instead of looking at just the winner, I think if you look at the entire national final in itself, you get a better idea of what they listen to. I mean, Belarus, let's not go there. But, like, I can't deal with Alexei. I just can't. But then again, he's not even Belarusian, technically speaking, but I suppose it's also, like, they're next to each other, neighbouring countries or whatever. But, yeah, like, I don't, like you were saying, I think if you look at a particular, the win, it's not necessarily the winner that is what, I think if you take the whole selection, I think that generally you get a better idea.
Yeah, and the other thing to do is to, after the national final season is finished and after Eurovision season is finished, go back and take a look at what your favourite bands and singers from national final season were doing. Because having the fans outside their own country is sort of why they do these national finals. And, if you've got to like somebody from Moldova, give them a message in the summer and say, I'm still listening to your song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it means a lot to them.
That is a fair point. A lot of artists love and are shocked by the fact that people outside their country listen to their music. Like, my friend goes to Melody Festival and the amount of artists he's been able to speak to, and they're gobsmacked that someone from the UK has flown out and listened to their music and knows their music is mind-blowing to them and extremely heartwarming as well. So, they're...
On the subject of Melody Festival, at London Eurovision Party in 2015, Mons Samalov comes on stage and he says, I'm going to sing Cara Mia. The whole crowd goes mental for Cara Mia, and he's like, I can't believe you guys know the words. And we're like, oh, please, of course we know the words to Cara Mia. Banging tune. So, yeah, I think that's like something that's reminded me of what you were just saying.
Was that the one with the backing dancers, with the backing singers in the top hats and sort of like striped trousers? Or was that Hope and Glory?
No, that was Cara Mia, and it has like the big fan in the background. Yes. It's woefully
cheesy.
It's like this. It's what like non-Eurovision fan British people think Eurovision is. It was very like that.
Very true.
It's what the British press think Eurovision is.
Yes. But I think all in all we can take away that no matter how many songs are in a national selection, we always walk away with something we attach ourselves to and we can enjoy after the national selection.
Definitely.
And that's what it's all about. That's what I'm going to tell myself, at least, until next week when another favourite of mine doesn't win. Anyway. Moving on, it's like a little fun one now, which just something fun for us all to talk about. Let's talk about the songs that have been selected so far that stand out for us. They don't have to be our favourites. They don't have to be our least favourite. It's just a song that we can instantly go to, or if someone asked us to tell them a song from Eurovision this year who hasn't listened to it, what we would say first. Who would like to dive in first? If not, I can go.
You go
You
first,
go.
Elliot.
Oh, why, thank you. Well, my one would be what we mentioned earlier, which is Ukraine, Melvin Under the Ladder. This, for me, it's just an absolute standout of a... I don't know what it is about this song, but there's something in that melody and production which feels so pop. It's not rock, it's definitely not rock, but it has that sort of like really heavy downbeat, up-tempo vibe to it, which I love in music. I really like it. If it's not an electronic female singer, it's normally this. And it's just like it has really...
It's got driving rhythms.
Yes, it's got that, and it's got the piano mixed in lovely as well. He sings it well. Yeah, his diction is a bit off, but when has diction ever stopped a song doing well?
I expect my diction in Ukrainian is worse.
Yes.
And there's just something about it, like it's like the whole sort of dark vibe. And as soon as I heard it, I just had like such a mental image for like staging as well. You can imagine a lot of, like, bright whites and blues and on a very dark backdrop, and just I wasn't expecting red,
It's
but
interesting
red
you thought
works.
that, because it's so the opposite with what they did in the national final.
Exactly, but I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, I at one point during the sort of like instrumental break, I expected like for some reason like dancers to come or something. I didn't expect them just to slowly take his jacket off and run up some stairs. Like that's the last thing I thought they were gonna do. But yeah,
It's so good.
at the moment, I would have to say Melvin Under the Ladder for Ukraine. It's just a standout, and I know friends of mine who will not listen to Eurovision until the final will really enjoy that song and maybe throw it a vote, but that could be enough to get it a top 10. I, without a shadow of a doubt, expect this to be top 10, if not top 5 in May. I just fully expect that to happen. I am really confident about it. I love it so much.
I really agree with you. I think it is going to be top 5 because it's so like you were saying, like it's like a driving sound to it. It's so good. Like,
hey, just pause for a moment and imagine the whole arena doing the whoa bits.
oh my god, it'd be
It's
like
good.
Namaste LA. It's so good. It's so good. And like, I'm not usually into that kind of music with Eurovision, but I can't stop but listening to it a lot. Like, I really do agree with you. I think it's going to be third. I'm making my prediction. I'm putting a number on it. Third
Ooh.
in Eurovision, I think.
A big shout.
Yes.
When we still have
It's a
22
big
songs
shout.
to go.
Oh, I don't care. I'm thrown out. I'm just going to say it now. But hey, I said Finland wouldn't qualify last year, and we only had 4 songs, and I got it right. So
Actually, there is podcast evidence of me saying that Italy would peak at 6th in Kiev. I said something would stop it getting to the top 5. I said between 6th and 10th, and I got it bang on. I was so proud of myself. And
I'm proud of you.
And everyone said I was being really controversial. I was like, there's just something telling me it's not going to win. I don't know what it is, but I'm just kind of like, maybe not. I don't know what was going to win, but I was thinking, I don't think it's that. I don't know why, but I just can't match to it as a winner. Anyway, Lucy, what is your standout song from the 21 selected so far?
Can I be really cheeky and do 2 for different reasons?
Yeah, why not?
So-
There's no rules here.
On a personal level, I think my standout is Albania. Because I'm literally right. I've been in a battle for weeks. What is my number 1 between Albania and Czech Republic, as different as they are. But Albania, it just makes me go, oh wow, it's amazing every time I hear it, because it always reminds me. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the film One. It was also a West End musical. Yeah, it really reminds me of that. This Irish. It's basically, the film is a low budget but massive profit Irish film. And it's very much about the love of music, and it actually won, one of the songs from it won the Oscar for Best Original Song. If people listening to this need an example, Google Falling Slowly, because it's stunning. But Albania really does remind me of that, and it just makes my heart warm. Like, I love it, and I really hope it keeps Albanian, because we know what Albania like to do to their songs. But that's the one that it just makes me. It's just I can't find the words for it. I love it so much. And the Czech Republic didn't. Whilst I love that song, it's not. I listen to it. I don't get the same. Oh my god, from it. But Albania. Sorry.
Lucy, do you find the lyrics of "Lie to Me" a bit gross? Like, it's quite slut-shamey, isn't it?
It's very smutty.
Spaghetti is a bit questionable. Yeah.
No, it's not that it's not that it's rude, because you can be.
Pop has that.
You can have that, but it's more that, like, I don't think it's a song with a very good attitude to women.
No, I agree with you. I do. I mean, I played my sister. My sister is me and my sister both big feminists. My sister was horrified, absolutely horrified. I was like, yeah, I can see where that's coming from. I do completely understand that. I think my love for Czech Republic is purely on the beat. I think the lyrics, and like her skirt goes up like Marilyn Monroe, straight away you've got a lyric that's a little bit kind of, yeah. So I do agree with you on that, and I think that's part of the reason why Albania is overtaking, because it's got real emotion rather than slightly crass and demeaning. But yeah, no, I think Czech Republic, my love for it is his personality, because he seems great. He's very, very charismatic in interviews as well. Not that matters to the casual viewer, so I'm trying to separate that. But it is more the actual beat to it. It's very pop and chart to me. It's the most modern sounding we've got so far, though Milovan is coming into that. So I think that's where my love for Czech Republic comes in. But with Albania, it's just a raw, I just love it. But sorry, I've gone on for ages. But my other standout song, and I absolutely despise this song, but I think it's going to do really well at Eurovision because it's so different, Hungary. I think that there is an audience for that, because let's face it, we've all made someone who doesn't watch Eurovision before. I think a lot, like people who are into very different types of music, do watch Eurovision, and I think there will be people out there like, oh my god, I can't believe this is in Eurovision. Like, it's the one I'm talking about. Like, in my office, they all find it funny that I'm obsessed with Eurovision, and they talk to me about it and stuff. I'm like, yeah, well, there's pretty much a metal song in Eurovision this year, and they're like, what? And they all want to talk about it. And I played it to them, and they're like, oh my god, that's crazy. Like, I can't believe that's in Eurovision. And I think that is going to make people go, yes, and vote for it. Like, Georgia, 2016, I mean, whilst that's totally my kind of music, I think people, I was going to go the stereotype, the kind of people that vote for it, perhaps British people, which was proven. But I think people who don't normally watch Eurovision are going to vote for songs that are not typically Eurovision, and I think Hungary might do very well, even though I really, really hate that song. I don't want to say hate, because it's a struggle, but I really don't like. It's not my kind of music at all. But I think that's going to be top 10.
I've got two bold predictions here, based on those songs you've just said. One, I was talking to my friend about with Hungary, and we said, wouldn't it be funny if Hungary somehow snatched a win in Lisbon? Which they could do if casual viewers just turn it on. And I have a lot of friends who love metal and rock. They will pick up the phone and vote for that. And they just need a few people, a few hundred, well, not maybe a few hundred, but the casual viewer still has a vote. And if they all pick for something so out there and different, which could be to their taste, that could push Hungary over the line. The second one was, we always have a shock non-qualifier in the first semi-final. Could Czech Republic be that one to miss out? I think Miklas is now in danger.
I think there is a chance.
If you remember his performance at Vidbeer, he was heavily supported by that backing track.
I mean, he's a great personality, and I have interviewed him, and he's a lovely lad. Very, I love him as a person. I just feel that the person who will vote is the person who's the bill pay at the end of the day, and is a 30-something woman who's watching it on BBC4 on a Tuesday night gonna watch it and go, oh yeah, I want to vote for him. I just don't think it's going to happen. I just feel that
No.
I feel like he's going to fall short unless the fangirls really get behind him. I just feel like he is in danger, and I also feel like Lie to Me is going to open the show.
Oh yeah,
Purely because of the brassy hook at the start. It's a good show opener, and I feel like he is like, and especially if Iceland go with Gold Digger, they have similar songs. He could be in danger. I agree
with you. There is always one.
I tweeted it earlier. I did say we also shot non-qualifier, and I feel this year it could be Nicholas.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there's a chance it's either going to. It is like, what's the phrase? Like, not fly or die, but you know what I mean. It's either going to be. Yeah, that's the one. It's either going to do top 3 in semi-final, or it's going to be really bad. And I do agree. I think the thing that might kill it is the lyrics.
So, Ellie, what is your standout song? I feel like it's 1 or 2, but what is your standout song?
Well, Lucy, I really like Vyslatnya.
Yeah. I can understand why so many people do. I'm glad there's that genre there.
It's sort of not a metal song. It's hardcore. It's like My Chemical Romance. It's a pop tune with a bit of shouting in the middle. It's very controlled. It's even got a key change, for heaven's sake. It is the kind of song that a hardcore band like AWS would put out first from their album when they're trying to get, a little bit of chart action. It's their big first track on the album pop song. And it's very efficient at what it does. We've never had sort of really melodic hardcore at Eurovision before. The closest thing that I can think of would be Max Jason Mai's Don't Close Your Eyes. But that was much more metal, and he was less personally appealing than the AWS guys, who are just sort of, I don't know, they seem like a fun group of dorks, to be honest.
Their reaction when they got picked.
Yeah, like they're gonna have a great time. They have already booked a gig in Lisbon, so that they can take their friends to Lisbon and have like a nice rock show and really rock out in Lisbon. But unfortunately, they've booked it so it clashes with Semi 1, so I can't go.
Oh no!
They booked a gig clashing with Semi 1. That's intelligent.
Well, that's the thing, though. They aren't the Eurovision audience. They want to go and see they want to have some Portuguese hardcore fans come and watch them.
Yeah.
And like they can potentially use Eurovision to get a reasonable result, but sort of whatever, really, because what they're actually going to get out of this is that a bunch of people across Europe are going to see this fun band AWS sing their little song.
I mean, Hungary, though, they are so good at picking very different songs that are very brave. And honestly, though I'm saying I hate this song, there's a reason I'm saying it's going to be top 10 Eurovision, because that genre, I mean, I know it's not metal, I was trying to think of the right word, I couldn't remember what it was. I was like, oh, it's not metal, what is it? But I'm so glad there's such a different genre there than what we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really glad it's there, even though I don't like it.
They managed to get a top 10 with a genre that's usually considered, televoter poison last year. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I do feel like Hungary can do well, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see. The song which I thought you were going to go for, and I purposely didn't pick because I thought Ellie was going to go for it, comes from France, Madame, Monsieur and Merci.
I do like that.
We've both have been
a very important one.
Yeah, we've both been in love with this song from the minute we heard it, and I'm glad it's going. I do feel like this is... I've been saying this so much with my friend recently, and I am terrified... Well, this is going to sound really controversial, but this is why I feel like Destination Eurovision was kind of fixed / set up for someone else to win. Purely because, right, I'm going to say it. Leandro QC was meant to win as Destination Eurovision. We saw that in the jury. We saw that in his staging. It's very similar to what Amir and Alma have had, and the sort of song that Eduardo Grassi could sort of like get his hands on and stage how he wanted, even though France's staging in the last 2 years have been abysmal and what have killed their song. And we saw that in the final with like the very naff jacket, and you know basically they took Blue's props and put them on the back of the stage and everything. He cannot touch Mercy, because how the hell do you stage that song if you have no emotional connection to it, like Emily and Jean-Carl do? And that showed in the French public when it absolutely stormed the televote, and I did the maths, and it was nearly 30% of the vote they won in the televote, so that's incredible.
He doesn't have to do anything
exactly,
to put Mercy on stage.
Let them do it.
Exactly.
Let them do it. And the performance of Vidbeer was amazing.
Let them be there on their own.
Like,
the problem that Madame Monsieur are going to have, though, is that strictly according to the rules of Eurovision, they can't talk about what their song is about.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, very true. But it's such a damn good song. I like it because my last name is Percy, so I'm just singing Je m'appelle Percy all the time, so it's great for me. But on a personal note. But no, I love that song. It's beautiful, and unfortunately, I don't know, it made me so mad last year in Eurovision banned Salvador from wearing that ruddy jumper, because it is important. Everybody in Europe is talking about it. It is a seriously important thing to talk about, and I'm waiting for. I was surprised there hasn't been like Eurodrama. Everybody's saying, "Oh God, it's about politics." I think there was one person who said, "I'm cancelling my flight to Lisbon." I was like, "No, you're not. Like, stop." So I'm just worried that they will be forced to tone it down. I think if that song was in English, they wouldn't allow the song. As stupid as that is, I know French is one of the official languages of Eurovision, but a lot of people in Europe don't speak French, potentially, in a lot of countries, and I think, I don't think it's a political song at all. I really don't. I just think it's a very important social observation.
If they're going to enforce the rules like they did on Salvador last year, they can't talk about what their song's about.
Yeah,
it's very true.
Very true. But I think, what could work for them is that I can't speak French at all. I got an E instead of GCSE, like I just gave up in the end. And I did not know these lyrics at all after the semi-final, but I just fell in love with them, her emotion, her tone of voice, the song, like this melody and her voice. She could be singing the alphabet for all I care about, and I'd still be like, yes, 12 points to France. I think it's amazing, but it is going to come down to how they stage this and how it's going to be received. I would love this to be top 10.
It needs to be so simple. I think they might involve, because back at the stage, obviously it's no LED, but do they have like a wave type of thing?
Yeah, like the promo photo sort of like some sort of like wave thing that made me think of very Vienna 2015 when the sort of like balls came out and started. So I don't know what exactly that is, but
France could use that. Their song is all about la mer, the sea. They could use the fact that it's a little bit nautical. But I don't want them to use it too much. Hopefully, I hope that they keep it very simple. It's just very French, isn't it? The song, and let's face it, the outfit for the national final was very stereotypical art house Frenchy.
I love them. I have a high neck just like it. I love it.
Amazing. It's great. It is very, very French, the whole thing, and I hope they keep it that way because it's bloody brilliant. It's amazing.
The thing is, though, I wonder if they were selected too early, because normally we would be trying to sort of follow along their storyline, but they've not done anything.
No. They were some of the first to confirm for the Euro events, though. Like, they're going to Amsterdam and everything.
Yeah, but
By the way, Surrey has confirmed London, not confirmed Amsterdam, which is concerning me. But, they've already, they've been on Ukrainian TV as well. They did Vidbeer as well, didn't they?
They did in the second semi-final. They were the guest act.
Yeah, so France are going for it. Let's call a spade a spade. Eduardo Grazzi's in a certain group of head of delegations that seem to get on very well, like with the Italian one. What's
Swedish.
His name? Well, yeah, it's Christian Bjorkman as well, but the Italian HOD, they're in this group of friends.
Nicola Calagorli, is that their name? Something like that?
So.
Something similar.
But Yeah, so I think that Madame Monsieur might get a chance to go to other countries and promote their song. Hopefully they do, because they damn deserve it. So hopefully, the French team seem very keen on getting them to do promo.
Yeah.
Very much so. And better promo than most countries are doing. Like, they are the most active at the moment. So I think being picked so early has had its advantages in that sense. Because I'm so excited to see them. I'm going to Amsterdam for my first time. And I'm so excited to see them. Like, so excited. It's going to be great.
We'll have a lovely time. I won't be going because I'm busy with a dance competition, but it is what it is. Anyway, looking forward, and lordy, in on the 13th or 12th of March is a Her Delegation meeting, and we still have 22 songs to hear and be selected.
Oh, God.
The first 5 are coming
this week. Oh, that's less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I've not even noticed that.
We have 2 coming tomorrow, which is Waylon's song and Fuego from Cyprus, and then we have 5 coming the day after, which is one of Sarah's 3 songs will finally be selected. We have Esti Lau, we have San Marino, we have Iceland, Poland, then we have Portugal the night after, so...
That last week is going to be amazing.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited for it. We have Crazy coming out at some point, we have Ryan O'Shaughnessy's song coming out at some point. Bulgaria, Macedonia I think are saying they're on the 11th of March, they're now confirmed. That's when that song's coming out. Israel's on the 10th of March, I believe they've said, which I'm really excited for, Israel's song. ISIL releases her song on the 4th, and she's now confirmed she has worked with Philip Kirkorov, so... I'm a little sceptical about that one, because the fact that Doledos revamped their song, which Philip Kirkorov gave them before the national finals to make it more Doledos, kind of says everything you need to know.
So with Bulgaria, you can guarantee they're going to be the last one, by the way. They were the last one in 2016 to give their song, and I think they were the last year.
Second to last. Armenia was the last.
Thank you.
Armenia pushed it back a week.
Yes, and I kind of feel like Bulgaria are going to do that again. I think everybody's saying that the one with this mysterious guest star, please don't see Loreen. This mysterious guest star, apparently that is the one that's representing Bulgaria, so if anything, we've got hype for them just to find out who the guest star is, let alone how good the song is inevitably going to be, touch wood. So we've got Bulgaria coming. Like, that's going to be epic. And we obviously put the Melfest finals. We all know there's drama about it not being as good quality. I think one of the websites genuinely to Christopher Bjorklund's face tried to confront him like, so Melfest isn't as good this year.
Wow.
Not in those words, but he was like, I mean, they said it in a very nice, tactful way. Like, it was a very good question, but they actually had the balls to ask him, like, what do you think of this criticism of it this year? And
I do think that there was a reason that Alcazar weren't allowed in.
Oh, they would walk it, I feel. Like, with their fan base, they would be easily top 3. And if they have released their song that was meant to be for Melfest, they've said they've changed it slightly to make it less competitive. But they have released that song a few weeks ago, and as you can imagine, everyone fell in love with it. But
yeah,
I think the final's still going to be good. I do feel it's between, realistically, 2 artists, and I feel like the one I don't enjoy is going to win. So we'll see if we're right in a week's time.
I know you're trying to be subtle, but you mean Benjamin and Grosso, right?
I do mean Benjamin. It's Benjamin versus Mariette, and Benjamin has got the fangirl outvote on his side. Mariette has never done that well in the televote. Benjamin has. Those two will be the top 2, along with John Lundvik, probably coming 3rd because it's a very jury song. But I feel Ben is going to get the televote push. I would love it if Shuffler won, but the juries are just not going to give it the time of day. Sadly, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, when I've been in Sweden, like, basically, I have very, very good friends in Gothenburg. And I went over for Midsummer, where they have all the friends and family round, and they put on the Swedish chart. It was just after Melody Festival in 2016? Yeah, 2016. And as soon as Samuel and Victor came on that Bard and Knockner song, straight away they were like, oh god, no. They tried to they were like, Samuel and Victor is for children. There's like a running joke in Sweden that they are for kids and everything like that. So, I hate to say it because I love Shuffler, and hell, I love Selfie. That was a great song. So, oh no, Groupie, sorry, not Selfie, Groupie. But, yeah, Swedish adults are not a fan like we are.
Sadly.
Definitely not. Still got that coming. Sorry, I'm off on a tangent. I'm off on one, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's all good. I must admit, out of the non-selected songs so far, the one I'm most intrigued about is Jessica Malboy. And
Yes!
And the one I'm most excited for is Scenic. I will explain about Scenic because, firstly, she took her electronic pop name back. She's no longer Laura Glusenecken, she is Scenic, which is her electronic pop name. Belgium have done very well with electronic pop songs, like in Blanche. It's very bizarre for this broadcaster to go down this sort of route with an artist as well, though. And I think yesterday I saw like a teaser of the music video, and it's literally just her all in black, you can't see her face, and just an open door which is white, and she's walking towards the camera. And I'm thinking, that looks amazing, and I'm just really, really, really intrigued.
There's another one today, by the way. Have you seen it with the mirrors?
No, I have not seen that. I'm going to see that
There's
after
a
this.
picture of the mirrors on the floor, and they're reflecting upon her.
Ooh.
The mirrors are.
I mean, I just want Belgium to win so I can have 2 weeks of beer, chocolate, waffles and fries. So I don't care how they win as long as they win. And I can get the Eurostar there, which will be so easy. Jessica Malboy, I am slightly worried about because she just comes across very Disney. Like, unless she's got like something really impactful and powerful, she's just, for me, very sort of like... She's not the right sort of artist to have in a cutthroat semi-final like semi-final 2. I am slightly worried that Australia are not going to be in the final unless the juries seriously like shove this into the top 3 after the jury final, which they could do.
This is Australia and it is the juries. Of course the juries will do that. Oh, sorry, just spilt some boiling hot tea.
Well, get cold water.
The Aussies are going to be just fine.
Yeah, the Aussies will be fine. Although I think Jessica Malboy's song is called like "Fill Me Up" or something. It is very cheesy. The lyrics are very generic pop. I really hope. I think they're going to do something a bit more damning in with her though, like something a little bit more. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Like I didn't like Dammy in music before when they announced her. I was like, okay, and then I hadn't heard the song yet, and then when I heard it, I was quite surprised. It was not dark, but it's always got that kind of, in the verses, it's that very. Yeah. I can't think of the word, but you know what I mean?
And moody.
Yeah,
yes,
very low.
Atmospheric and moody, perfectly. And I think they might do something like that with Jessica Malboy, because there's another one of her more recent songs. I just googled Jessica Malboy ARIA Awards, I think, because I heard she had a really good performance, and there's a song in that same vein, and it was brilliant. And she could perform it really well, whereas Sea of Flags was too lively and she couldn't perform it as well at Eurovision 2014. I think they're going to go for something a bit more moody, like Damien.
Well, I think something is happening because Jessica's Instagram today disappeared into a cloud of sort of red Aussie dust. So I'm hoping for something that sort of feels really Australian and different.
She did say that she was gonna maybe use some Aborigine influences like her heritage. I believe her saying when she first got announced. I feel.
Yeah, when
you spoke to her, Jelly. You should confirm this.
Yeah, when I interviewed her, she did say that one of the things that she would like to include in the song is some lyrics in the Indigenous Australian language her mum speaks.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
But obviously we're yet to hear anything. But it's quite exciting.
I just looked at her Instagram, what you were talking about. I see what you mean. That's really odd. It's brilliant though, because that's quite. It's the first roast. It's 3 pictures, isn't it? It's all just these red clouds or red smoke, whatever it is. It's a video, but.
Yeah, it makes me think of the outback and all that red sand. It just
my god,
so mysterious. Anyway, watch it turn out to be something to do with her TV project. The other potential problem with Jessica Malboy is that she is such a star and working so much in Australia that she's definitely not going to have time to come back for the promo parties because she's singing at the Commonwealth Games during preview party season.
Is she?
Wow.
Where are the Commonwealth Games this year? They're taking them in Australia.
On the Gold Coast in Australia.
Oh, okay.
That's why they're so early as well, because Australian weather is a bit different to
So
ours.
the Commonwealth's going from the glamorous Gold Coast to Birmingham in 2022. Great contrast.
Yeah.
Okay.
All in all, I think this is shaping up to be a very exciting year. Obviously, we still have a lot of songs to go. Anything can happen. We've got the running order to come as well. That's a personal favourite of mine. I'm looking forward to dissecting that when that gets announced. Even though I feel that Moldova or Denmark are definitely opening semi-final 2. I think that's a given already. And I feel San Marino will get shoved in slot number 3, sadly. Anyway.
Yeah.
I think that is
That's surprisingly good though. Like, I think that's because I actually quite like Errol. Like, I would really like it if he and the German singer, is he German?
Jennifer Besky. Oh no, hang on, German's...
Yeah, that song with Errol, I think that should be the winner. I don't think it will be, but it'd be good if it was. I'd like San Marino's person to actually represent San Marino.
I don't have any tea on this, but I would say an Austrian is going to win 1 in 360.
I wonder why that could be.
As well. We'll find out in less than 48 hours. And we could come back and go, well, we were horribly wrong.
Yes. Hopefully.
But I believe that is everything for this podcast. A big thank you to Ellie and Lucy. Any final thoughts or comments? The floor is yours. Go for it.
Come on, Albania. That's all I have to say. I just hope you got the 3-minute version is gold, because it's beautiful as it is. It needs to be as beautiful as 3 minutes.
I just want to leave you with the idea of Netta and her Lupa and Ida Maria and Sarah Alto jamming in Euroclub.
Oh God, you just melted my soul, and I'm not going to be in Lisbon, and that's broken my heart even thinking about that. Oh my God, that's going to be so good.
I will Periscope it for you.
Please do. Please do.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yes, that is the first episode of the Eurovision Roundtable podcast. As you can see, like any general discussion, we've had a lot of fun, a lot of different opinions, but they're all valid here. This is a safe haven for us all. Like I said, a big thank you to Ellie and Lucy, and make sure you check out their sites at EAC Insight, and Lucy, who has recently joined weeblogs.com. Big thank you to you guys. I will be sure to have you back later on in this mad Eurovision season. But until next time, thank you very much, guys, for listening, and we shall be back next time with God knows whatever happens this weekend and maybe the weekend after. That's what I'm going to leave it on. But until next time, thank you very much, guys. And once again, a big thank you to you, Ellie and Lucy. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.